Hello, my dear friends. How are you doing? Hope you are having an amazing day and not having to deal with drama. Ready for new stories I have for you today? Let's go to the first one. And don't forget to listen to the end of the story, guys, to hear my insights. Enjoy the stories, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, don't forget to leave a comment. My wife and I have always told all of our kids that we will be willing to pay for their wedding if they follow a few rules. All family has to be invited. Exceptions if something major happened. The wedding cannot be a destination wedding, if all your guests need to get on a plane basically and leave the country. Immediate family gets a +1, even if they are not dating someone. Overall, the rules are not that hard to follow in my opinion. My daughter, 31 female, is marrying Cindy, 34 female, and they have picked out a venue and are working on the guest list. They both know the rules if they want me to pay. My daughter informed me yesterday that the wedding will be child-free. I told her that goes against one of the rules of me paying, that all family must be invited. Yes, that includes the kids. We had a sit-down conversation where she tried to convince me to still pay, even if it was child-free. She wants it to be child-free because she wants it to be an elegant event, and her Cindy doesn't like kids that much because she experienced parentification as a kid. I told her I would think about, and my decision was no. I informed both of them, and in short, they are quite mad. I made it clear that they can do that type of wedding if they want, but I just won't be paying for it. My daughter is pissed and saying it is unfair, that because her siblings did get a free wedding. I pointed out that they followed my rules on this. Everyone is pissed, basically. I'm just going to answer questions up here. Another question. Why don't Cindy parent pay for it? They are the type of parent that don't give money for wedding. Yes, they will be there. Big on. If you are old enough to get married, then you should pay for it. People. Since I am seeing this a lot, Cindy has been to many events with kids. She even babysat before. She personally doesn't want children, but has been fine around kids before. Did other kids have issues with the rules? Only my middle son and daughter-in-law. They wanted an Italy wedding, but decided against it after I informed them I wouldn't pay. They can still do a child-free wedding if they want, just means they won't get $50,000 to $100,000 from me. They will need to pay for it themselves. OP is not offering to pay. OP is controlling the wedding. Child-free weddings are incredibly common, and using money to force someone to include kids they don't want, there feels punitive. If this were about logistics or safety, fine. But this is about aesthetics and comfort, which are valid reasons. In my opinion, OP is turning a gift into a leash. What do you guys think? Not the a-hole. You were transparent about the rules from the start, and your daughter agreed to them knowing the consequences. You're not stopping the wedding or punishing her. You're just declining to fund something that goes against your clearly stated conditions. People are allowed to say no to funding events they don't agree with. Everyone sucks here. You're allowed to set conditions on your money, but all family must be invited, including kids, is a pretty rigid rule that ignores modern wedding norms and Cindy's personal history. At the same time, your daughter can't expect $50,000 to $100,000 while ignoring the terms she accepted. This feels like a power struggle, more than a values issue. Soft, everyone sucks here, leaning yes, the a-hole. If you want to help without controlling, consider offering a fixed amount toward the wedding regardless of guest list, or paying for something specific. Venue, food, flowers. Right now, this is turning into resentment that could last longer than the wedding itself. Especially since this isn't about safety or finances, just preference. Backstory. I grew up poor, but thankfully my parents worked hard and we went from being dirt poor, Appalachian coal miner poor, to being solidly in the middle class. Their handiwork and dedication to bettering themselves was transferred to their children, and as a result, my two brothers and myself all make extremely well for ourselves. The rest of the family, aunts, uncles, etc., still are either lower class or at best middle class earners. Over the years, my brother and I have helped out the extended family to the tune of over $100,000 each. Every time one of our cousins has a kid, we chip in equally to start a $10,000 college fund as well as cash gifts. We don't mind helping because it gives them a chance to better themselves. This brings us to the current problem. With the current crisis, I know some of my cousins have had to move home, lost jobs, etc., and we've provided some assistance. The problem is, my twins turn 18 next week, so for their birthday, I bought each of them new, used but new to them, cars for about $20,000 to $25,000 each. My extended family saw pictures of the gifts online, and since then, I've been getting crap from them for buying them new cars when they each already had cars newer and nicer, 2014 and 2015 models, than most of my extended family has, instead of helping my extended family out. I've just been ignoring the messages, but I got sick of it yesterday in a group chat with everyone and ended up unloading on those that were complaining. Additionally, I told them that if I hear about one more complaint or if anyone makes one more comment about it, either to me or to someone else, I will no longer help anyone. After I said it, I left the chat in disgust. But since then, some of them have been complaining about what I said to my parents and my brothers. Since I don't believe in making idle threats, I sent a group chat message out explaining that from now on, I am finished and not to ask me for any more assistance. I still plan on helping out some of the family and my grandparents who have stayed out of it. Since then, my parents have been on my back saying I was too harsh and rude about it. I did say things about specific people being greedy money-grubbing leeches. So, am I the a-hole for giving my kids luxury gifts when others could use that money more? Edit 1. When I say $100,000 each, I mean between my brothers and I, we have contributed at least $300,000 total. To make it easier when we gave someone money, never loans, just gift, we would split it 3 ways. Edit 2. The cars are a 2019 Camaro and a 2019 Ford F-150 truck. Edit 3. These were not second cars. When they got them, I sold one of the older cars and donated the other to charity, so they each have only one car now. Not the a-hole. There is this odd quality some people have, where they feel that another person is obligated to help them. They will demand things from that person, and then accuse that person of being greedy when they decline. Your family is taking advantage of you. You and your parents worked hard to build a better financial life for yourselves and your children. They could have done the same. The fact that they didn't doesn't obligate you to do a damn thing, despite what they say. Not the a-hole. You have given each member of your family roughly $100,000 and helped their kids as well. You don't owe anybody anything. If they want more, they should find another way to get money. You aren't a bank. I, 37 female, haven't seen my cousin, K, 45 female, in over a year, only texting a few times since. A couple of days ago, Kay texted asking for my current email under the pretense that her mom, with whom she's been living for the past 2 years, is surprising her with a Christmas party. I obliged. A minute later, I received an email from my auntie, sent to 10 friends, family members, and Kay, detailing how Kayla got defrauded of $3,600, summary below, and demanded that we donate cash so that she can recoup her hard-earned money, and to send checks directly to their house. An hour later, Kay resends the email in case we didn't receive the first email Mom sent. The next day, yesterday, Auntie emailed us, shaming us for not committing to any monetary donations, how it doesn't have to be near $3,600, but emphasized that Kay needs to recover the lost funds. I don't mind gifting her a small amount for Christmas, though we don't normally exchange gifts. If she'd been honest, no pretense, especially if it's an emergency. But she didn't, and it's not. To demand it as though she's entitled upsets me. Am I the a-hole for ignoring her request for a money gift? Some context. I'm cordial with my auntie. My dad's cousin lives 45 minutes away. Kay and I became closer after my graduate studies, but drifted these past few years. I used to treat them both out when she'd visit from out of state, 2 to 3 times a year. They'd sit back waiting for me to pay. At our last gathering for a mutual friend's, my BFF, birthday dinner, dear husband and I covered her portion. No cash, card. She promised to pay us back. Dear husband texted her to Zelly her share, but she ignored it. I then asked her too, but said she didn't know how to use Zelly or Venmo. Saw her a couple of times after that, but no payment despite us reminding her to bring us cash. I accepted that she never intends to pay us back. At the time, dear husband was unemployed for a year, pandemic layoff. I was on maternity leave and caring for our 2 young children. Today, between dear husband and I, we have 3 jobs, 3 young kids, 7, 3, and 1 years, 2 mortgages, huge debt incurred by COVID. I also need surgery that kept getting postponed due to unsteady health coverage. while she's taking piano, voice, ballroom dance lessons, hits the gym, gets massages, facials, mani-pedis, no rent or utility bills, works full-time, healthy and single. Mom's widowed, healthy, retired on a comfy pension. I feel bad this happened to her, but no one else should be financially responsible for her indiscretion, and she needs to learn this. She paid a deposit plus first month's rent via Zelle for an apartment without first seeing it or meeting the property manager in person. Police reports filed. No to GoFundMe because they take a cut. Not the a-hole. The request reeks of, but it's family, and is a request you can ignore with impunity. You have a family to support yourself and don't need to be responsible for someone else's bad decisions. Not the a-hole. Tell her you don't have the money now, and even though it would be a hardship, she can keep the money she owes you for the dinner, as you are sure that has been weighing on her, and the least you can do is take that stress away from her. Not the a-hole. What the duck? Is she really asking for others' hard-earned money to replace the hard-earned money that was scammed away? Honestly, I wouldn't give a penny out of principle. I find your aunt's behavior and attitude rather cheeky. Apparently, my sister and biological father both think I'm an a-hole for starting a GoFundMe, which I only started because I'm 6 months pregnant and practically homeless. I live with my fiance, his parents, and his brother in a studio apartment. He just managed to start a job, but I haven't been able to work due to the virus, and as such, we haven't been able to move into a new apartment, which means we're in a cramped space with so many people with a baby on the way. And to make matters worse, his parents are condescending and try to guilt-trip us into doing what they want us to do, and pressure me to ignore my doctor and the activity restrictions he put on me. I started the GoFundMe to try to get the money we'd need in order to move into a new apartment. That way, we could be in our own space, where we feel safe and not pressured to be something we physically cannot be. And then I posted the link on my Instagram to try and spread awareness, but apparently that was wrong in my sister's eyes. She messaged me moments after, telling me I shouldn't have set it up because I'm just having a baby and not dying or anything. And now I'm second-guessing myself a bit. But I also know that this is one of our only viable options to move forward. So if you guys want any other information, just ask, and I'll be happy to provide it. But I just need to know if I'm the a-hole here. Edit. To all the people saying I'm choosing to have a baby during a pandemic, this pregnancy was unplanned for one, and we used protection every single time, and yet it still happened. After I found out, it was already 3 weeks in, so Plan B wasn't an option, and I don't shame anyone for choosing to have an A, but it will never, ever be an option for me. We are doing everything we can to keep this baby, and I would appreciate if people would stop blaming me for not having an A after I found out. I'm not sure if this will be a popular answer, but yes, the a-hole. You choose to have a baby in the circumstances that you're in. I don't think it's appropriate to ask people to fund the lifestyle you want after making that choice. Fundraisers are appropriate for people who have been placed in difficult circumstances outside of their control, unforeseen medical bills, losing your home to a fire, etc. You made the choice to have a child when neither of you have been working and knowing what your living situation would be. This is on you, and it should be your responsibility to find the funds to move if that's what you want to do. Soft yes the a-hole, not because of the GoFundMe, but kind of the lack of thought here. You're 6 months pregnant and you are just now realizing you need to move and need money. Babies cost a lot of money. You are going to have rent, utility bills, and need stuff for the baby. But you didn't say if your fiance's new job will be able to support you and him, and your new baby, and all the new bills you are going to have. Also, why were you two living in a studio apartment with 3 other adults? Doesn't seem like there would be room in there for 5 adults, let alone a newborn. Honestly, yes, gentle yes the a-hole, unplanned or not, you knew 6 months ago that your living situation is not fit for a child, and decided to wait until the last minute to try to get it together. Sorry, but as blunt as this will sound, you're not being forced to bring a child into this world. You are choosing to, knowing full well how unprepared you are to support yourself, let alone a baby. And then expecting folks to crowdfund this during a pandemic that has not just affected you. It's not just selfish, it's irresponsible. Unfortunately, my dad passed away last year, and I will never forget the lessons and skills he taught me that made me the man I am today. It wasn't a total surprise, so he had the opportunity to have everyone who loved him by his side, and he settled his affairs with the family. He gifted me the most amazing gift any craftsman can be honored with. He gave me his tools. Everything in his shop now belonged to me because I was the only one who took after him. I was speechless. To me, it was a symbol of his love and acceptance. Enter my entitled sister, Lucy. After my dad passed away, Lucy convinced my mom to move in with her and to sell the property. I wasn't fond of that due to Lucy's past behavior. Story for another time. In December 2020, the property sold, and Lucy is lighting a fire under everyone to empty the property for the closing. My family took care of the house, while my brother and I took care of the shop and my personal storage area. We consolidated boxes and equipment and scrapped the trash in a dumpster we had rented. When that was full, we called it quits and decided to continue in a day or two with a new dumpster. A few days later, I called my mom to see when the new one was going to arrive, and I'm told Lucy got another one yesterday and finished up. She put all of your stuff in the storage unit. My stomach sank as I immediately knew what happened. Everything was gone. I raced to the property and found a construction dumpster full and a shop completely empty. Everything was gone, and I mean everything. I found my daughter's baby pictures, movie collection, my dad's tools, you name it. It was in the dumpster. Nothing was placed in there. It was thrown in, and everything was destroyed or missing. I raised hell in our family's chat and was immediately met with hostility from Lucy. My brother showed up to help salvage what we could, but we were barely able to scratch the surface. Most of it was ruined, so it was pointless by then. I filed a police report, and for some reason, this incident was classified as a civil matter and not criminal, which I'm still trying to wrap my head around. My attorney says although we have a strong case, there is virtually zero chance of recovering any damages from Lucy, and the cost would be more than the GDP of a small country. Here we are today. After multiple people convinced me, I set up a GoFundMe account to replace the value of the equipment that I lost, nearly $40,000, lowball. I knew it wouldn't go over well with Lucy, and boy was I right. I'm being accused of profiting off my dad's death, of lying, and being a general POS. So, am I the butthole for trying to replace my inheritance after Lucy destroyed it? Not the a-hole. So not the a-hole that I want to scream myself hoarse for you. She threw out things that belong to you. I'd love to see you go to her house and throw out $40K worth of things and see how she takes it. I don't get how it's not a criminal offense. In the slightest, she stole value from you, even if it was a mistake, or so I hope. Not the a-hole. Why on earth did your mother allow her to do that? She didn't know. From what my sister told her, she was going to put everything of mine into the storage pod we set up and toss everything else. My mom's a saint and only sees the good in people. The problem is, how was my sister supposed to know what I was keeping? Nothing of mine was in the pod and everything was tossed. Ultimately, my mom said the harshest words I've ever heard her say to anyone. She told my sister she was disappointed in her. Not the a-hole. What she did is messed up, and it's more messed up to have the audacity to imply that you are profiting from your father's death. She destroyed something that not only had a huge monetary value, but also sentimental value that is irreplaceable for any sum of money. Cut contact with her. Someone that has that amount of disrespect and has the nerve to call you all those things shouldn't be considered family. So I'm not gonna judge, because while Lucy is most definitely an a-hole, I don't think a GoFundMe is appropriate in this situation. I, 35 male, have 3 sisters, 31 through to 42, and our father passed away recently. It has fallen on me to plan the service since our parents divorced a while ago, and my sisters don't know what to do. Their words, and yes, they're grown women. Our dad was a sperm donor, and it has always been a touchy topic in our family. He donated solely because there is, a shortage of donors in our country, and he fathered 7 kids to 5 families, which is the maximum number of families permitted by law. Our dad had a relationship with 2 of his donor kids that had reached out as adults. One of them has reached out and obviously offered their support, but cannot attend the service. The other had become very close to our father to the point where Dad literally referred to her as his daughter, etc. She didn't have a dad of her own, lesbian parents, and so bonded quite quickly when she reached out. Anyway, cutting to the chase. His donor daughter wants to attend his funeral service and is just as broken up as we are. My sisters are all against the idea and think it would be creepy, weird, etc. They all expect me to tell her no because she isn't real family. But I'd feel like absolute crap saying no. She literally said she won't say a word to anyone and will just attend the service in silence. She just wants to honor Dad. I don't get why my sisters are so vehemently opposed to her presence. Our dad left her some money from his estate, so he obviously considered her family. Anyway, since my sisters left it on me to plan, I told her to come and intend on making her feel welcome. I don't think a funeral is a time to exclude and alienate someone that is hurting. As you can imagine, I am now being called countless names by my sisters, and also my mother. I think I might have accidentally been an a-hole here. I don't know. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. Sorry, but your sisters sound like terrible people. Your dad gave 5 families who couldn't have children on their own. Children. It's not like your father abandoned you guys and raised 7 kids from 5 other families. It shouldn't be treated as this horrible situation. He did something pretty great. There's nothing weird and creepy about these other kids caring about their biological father. Your sisters need to get over themselves. They're clearly petty, and it sounds like they may have been jealous of his other daughter. Your father and the other daughter became close, so it's safe to assume that your father would want her at the funeral. She deserves to be there. She's allowed to grieve too.